Hey, it's Bob Kelly. Listen to the worst of Louis C.K. on the Opie and Anthony show. That's right. The worst of the redheaded Mexican. Could there be an uglier combination? A Mexican and red hair and bald freckles. Is he Jewish too? God, what a shitty gene pool.
Louis C.K. wants to say hi. Louis!
Hey, guys.
We just saw you animated. You're going to be part of the animation festival on Thursday. You look good in animation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At least I look good somewhere.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I look horrible right now. I'm a very ugly person right now.
Why? Are you on the movie set?
No, I just rapped.
Are you in Lowell, Massachusetts?
No, I'm actually on a highway. You saw me at what?
No, we're up in Boston. You're filming the Ricky Gervais movie, right?
That's right. I was just up there. I think I left like the day before you guys went up there.
And someone's saying, well, let's get Louis or Ricky on the show. And I said, they're up in Lowell. They're nowhere near us. Lowell's pretty far from where we were at. And it's
it's like 30 minutes up there.
It's a shithole, too.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, you know, retarded people walking the streets with oxygen tanks.
Really?
Like, you know, a cane, an oxygen tank with the nose thing, and retarded.
And retarded.
That's how retarded you are. You forget to inhale.
Exactly. No, there really are. It's like people are so fucked up there that retarded people just walk around because there's not that much difference.
Yeah, who's going to, like, stop them?
Yeah, like in a regular place, retarded people are, you know, put somewhere special, but they're like...
Yeah, it's called Lowell.
Yeah, we ship them all up to Lowell. Good observation there, Adam.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible place. I mean, I don't know. No, it sucked. But the movie was fun. It was fun to do.
That's exciting for you, my friend.
It was okay, but then my dog got hit by a truck 2 days ago.
Oh, what?
Yeah, horrible.
What happened, man?
My children's mother.
What is that about, Louis? My children's mother?
Uh-oh.
My baby mama was standing in the front lawn with the dog, and there was a deer across the street.
Yeah.
Just staring at the dog was barking, and she said, "Get out of here!" to the deer, and the dog thought she said, "Go get her."
Oh boy!
And so the dog ran across the street, and the truck hit her and destroyed her life forever.
How old was the dog?
Dog was 9, and she was killed. And I loved that dog. I mean, I traveled. You know, I have that YouTube video of that dog that recently people watched, and I traveled across the country with the dog like 6 times. So
wait, that's the dog?
That's the dog.
Now I'm affected. I thought the dog was really kind of adorable.
Roland wasn't here to give his condolences.
Yeah.
That was a great dog. No, and I actually traveled upstate because I wasn't there to see her body and actually helped put her in the oven, which is really weird.
Why would you do that?
Because I felt terrible that I wasn't there, and I guess I wanted to have some closure or something. And I didn't know how I would react, but once I was in this room with incense burning, they really gave me a viewing of the body. It was ridiculous. I just sobbed like a baby. I just sat there and cried like a big faggot.
Louis, what the hell? I thought we were getting a joke from you today.
Yeah, no, sorry. My dog's dead, and it's really sad.
Hey, Lou,
wow.
No,
the dog
really
died
sucks.
right on the spot, right? There was no, like...
Oh, yeah, it had to.
You know, that depends on where the dog got hit.
No, she died she was still dying when I saw her, but we put her in the oven anyway. We were like, no, there's no chance.
Put her in the oven anyway?
She was still alive. I just thought, fuck it, you know, it's only so much you get to I'm kidding. She died instantly, and,
that's better.
yeah.
It's
weird to shove your dog of 9 years into an oven.
Were your kids standing right there, too, or no?
My what? Oh, yeah, I had my kids stand there and watch me.
No. Were they on the lawn when it happened with your ex-wife?
No, they were in the house, but they heard my ex-wife's blood-curdling scream.
Oh, fuck, man, that's awful.
It's rough to lose a dog. Did I ever tell the Brett dog story on the show?
No.
Which dog story?
I wish you were in studio because I completely feel for you. Completely.
This wasn't Fresca, right?
No, it's a drag. I mean, dogs are with you when you're alone. Like, you're alone in their company. It's nobody else can really do that. That can keep you company, but you don't have to say a word to them for hours.
It's like E-Rock.
Do you want
Terry
me?
Schiavo.
You want me to tell this story?
No, I'd love to hear the dog story.
This deals with real emotions, Ann. So
I'll give it a whirl. I'll try.
Jerry.
Because Louis has set us down this path. I've never told this story on the air.
I'll try not to choke up. So, just go from the part where you kicked it in the liver.
No.
Oh,
this is my
okay.
brother's.
Different one.
This is my brother's dog. It was his life. A black lab.
Oh, they're adorable.
It was his life, and we came home from my uncle's wake, and I'm laughing because this is so horrific. I can't even believe
Oh God.
So it's my dad's brother died unexpectedly. Horrendous, horrible. And we're all just kind of at our own houses, just depressed, went through this whole wake thing. And I get a phone call from my mom screaming bloody murder. And I'm like, oh, my God, what happened to Dad? I'm thinking, this caused maybe a heart attack or something. And she goes, you better get over here. I can't console Brett. I go, what happened to Brett? Well, his dog got run over by a car. My dad, who just came from his own brother's wake, ran in the street, and at that time he was only living on one artery, picked up the 80, 90-pound dog to get him out of the road. This is the type of father I had. Like I said, I had real emotions coming out here. And then the dog died in my dad's arms, and he put him kind of in a wheelbarrow just off to the side because it was the dead of winter.
1 mile. Oh, my God.
It was like early February, just a horrendous winter night, snow on the ground, full moon, maybe 8 degrees out, maybe. I go over, and Brett is I can't. There's nothing you could do. He's on the floor on all fours, just crying and going, why, and inconsolable, right? And we get him in a place, and he looks at me, and he goes, I got to bury the dog now. And I'm like, what?
Oh, my God.
So we take the wheelbarrow with, like, his life, basically, and we go into the backyard. And I thought I was in the middle of a horror movie. We are trying to dig a hole in my parents' backyard for his dog.
All froze over.
It's 8 degrees out. And as he's like digging, he's collapsing because he realizes what he needs to do.
Oh my God!
Collapsing, and I'm sitting there like, oh dear God! And I'm holding the flashlight over this shallow grave as he's attempting to try to dig it deeper so he could bury his dog.
Oh, I like the fact it made him dig in his grief instead of giving him the flashlight. Selfish bastard.
Look, I'll go with you, but that ground's hard.
And
yeah, it's ironic that the dog would have done a great job digging that grave.
We had one of those moments, though, me and my brother, and he's just digging away. And I did try to help, by the way, but it was all about he needed to do this, and I was there just to support as best I could. And
what a crazy need for a closure to actually dig a hole and stick his body in.
And stupid me, all of a sudden the flashlight flashes onto the wheelbarrow, and it wasn't a pretty sight. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And that got him going again. He collapses. It took hours. We're out there in the dead of winter like a horror movie, burying his
No, because when you really dig a hole like that, it's like there's roots you got to cut through.
Oh
and,
my God, yeah.
Indian pottery and whatever. And
yeah.
Steam. No, when the dog died, my ex called me screaming. I mean, screaming and sobbing and making no sense.
Jeez.
I thought one of the kids were dead. Like, my first thought, because I couldn't make any sense of what she was saying, she was screaming, sorry, and I heard dead somewhere in there.
Right.
Oh,
and my first thought was, let it be the dog. I hope my dog is dead right now.
Oh, my God.
As compared to one of the kids being dead.
Yeah, sure. But for a moment, you weren't sure.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I mean, I had a sick feeling I'll never forget. Like, somebody, I mean, she's really upset. And somebody's dead, and I hope it's the dog. And then I hear the dog's name. I'm like, okay, either the dog ate one of the kids or the dog's dead.
Right.
But the worst part is telling the kids, too. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I was on the phone with them, and they're crying.
Oh, my God.
And then the 6-year-old says, first of all, she says, I'll never forget her. And then she said she was like a sister to me about the dog.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ. When she said that, I almost said, like, Jesus.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
A sensitive little story.
I got to tell you, where my parents used to live in Centerport was on a main road. And no joke, I moved home from Buffalo with a cat. That got hit by a car, and that was in a weird way my life because I was all by myself in Buffalo, and it was just I had this attachment to this cat, and my dad picked it out of the road and let the cat die in his arms and wait till it got stiff, and then he buried the cat before I came home from. I was working at BAB at the time,
Right.
and then I can't even tell you how many pets.
Your poor father has to go out on the road and pick up dead animals.
Dude, we lived on this main highway, and we always had dogs, but we never
Get
had
a fish.
We never had a fence. I know of at least 2 more dogs that ended up dying outside our house. It's like a pet cemetery in my
And they
parents'
called your
backyard.
father. He comes out in the hood.
You know, it was a relief when, you know, one of our pets died of old age and Dad took the ride, you know.
Yeah.
You know he's just dumping him in the woods somewhere, but he's like, no, I took Sprite to live on a farm in New Hampshire. But Dad, you've only been gone 45 minutes.
And there's dirt on your pants.
Right, exactly.
Sprite.
I was supposed to go into an up-tempo goddamn number after talking about a goddamn dog dying.
You know what's funny? And I'll let Jimmy have his moment in 1 second here. But what's funny is someone's writing, Louis, will you turn down your GPS? We're having some real emotions on the show today, and all we hear is, turn left in 1 mile.
I know. I heard it. I'm sorry.
Yes, Jimmy.
I turned it off as quick as I could.
I got to go back to Jimmy. Yes, Sprite. We decided to name our pets after soft drinks.
I had one called Sierra Mist. I couldn't have
Right.
Sprite.
We had Fresca.
Sprite? Oh,
we had
my God.
Should have named your
Sprite.
cars after automobiles.
We had Pepsi. We had Shasta, which wasn't a very popular
Oh,
soda, but
no.
we decided to name one of our dogs
Royal
Shasta.
Crown.
I
And
remember
you notice
when
how many
Mr. Pibb died.
You notice how many dogs I just named?
Yeah.
That's too many dogs for one childhood. So guess what was going on?
A lot of
horror
death.
show in front of our house every 3 years.
A lot of
Well,
doggy death.
we have a fence, but it's an invisible fence that's buried in the ground, and the dog wears a collar.
Right.
Really work.
That shocks her in the throat when she crosses the line.
Yeah.
But you know, they don't wear the collar after a while. They don't need to because they think they don't understand it's the collar. They just think that God hurts them when they cross a certain line. Or that,
Well, at least she lived a good life, Lou.
yeah, but she hadn't worn the collar for like 5 years, and she was a little soft on the line. And also, she was so certain that her woman of her life wanted her to chase that deer.
Right.
If you think I hated deer then now, though, I want to fucking kill a deer now very badly.
Why? The deer was just minding its business getting chased.
You fuck that fucking deer. No, it wasn't. It was standing right across her line, knowing that she couldn't cross it, just standing there looking at her, making her bark.
It's a deer, not Saddam Hussein.
It's worse. I'd rather fucking fuck Saddam's open throat where the head used to be
Oh, Lou.
and feed a deer. No, I hate that.
So how do you get?
No, it's a dragon. I'd like to sound funny and ironic.
No,
and
you know
like,
what? I think the show could go down this road every once in a while. Now, how did you get through it with the kids?
You know what? I was really proud of my kids because they did what you actually wanted kids to do. They really processed it and cried, and they know she's gone. Like we said, you know, maybe she's in a better place, and the 6-year-old said, no, she's gone. She's dead.
Doggy heaven. Were you trying
And
to?
here's the thing though. I take her to school, and I told the teacher her dog died, and she's dealing with it. She's okay. But just so you know, and so she gave her a book that says dogs go to heaven, and it talks about God.
Right.
I'm like, you fucking idiot. I had her facing death and being okay with it, and you just fucking put in the fairy tale. She didn't need it.
Yeah, you got to give them the harsh reality. I'm thinking.
No, yeah, because she was okay. She was like, yeah, she's gone. I miss her.
Yeah.
I'll never forget her. I'm glad she didn't get old and sick, but I'm sad she died. These are all things the 6-year-old said. She really processed it.
Right.
But this teacher now wants her to think she's in a place where there's bowls of delicious dog food. And
Yeah, it's weird because when my dad died, my sister decided, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just you brought up another thing I can relate to. My sister had the kids like release balloons for Pops in heaven, and
Yeah.
they do that on his birthday and other holidays, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice, but
Yeah.
I don't know if Pops.
I don't
is ever
know
gonna
that
see
heaven
that.
is like in the.
Yeah, I don't know if Pops is ever gonna really see that.
Let's
balloon.
see him.
No, because balloons burst when they get to a certain point in the atmosphere. They get to a few
But
thousand feet.
you know what? But it's I guess it's how they deal with it because they know something's not right, so they release a balloon for Pops. I guess if it helps, whatever.
Yeah. I have an electric collar around my father, so he can only go so far.
The electric fence.
Yeah.
It's weird when you go to what do you call it, a cemetery to to jerk off on all the graves and stuff, and people that bring stuff and they're really tacky, like Mylar balloons and shit.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Just people that are gross and tacky about the death of their loved ones.
My grandmother's grave, Louis, they put a big horseshoe like she won the Kentucky Derby.
I love the obituaries. Sometimes you read through those and it's like, "Happy 5th anniversary in heaven." Like, what the fuck? First of all, is he getting the paper up there? You know,
exactly.
Like, yeah, look at that.
The fucking worms in your brain are enjoying your anniversary.
I need to take everything in and go the limit with everything. So we had a relative that died. I don't want to mention which one, and it was 3 days of mourning. Like you walk around like a fucking zombie, and you do it for other family members. If it was up to me, I wouldn't hang out with anybody because it's the weaker people. And I use that term very lightly because your emotions are what they are.
Sure.
But it's the weaker people that bring everyone down to a place you don't want to be. Like you're dealing with it on this level,
or don't.
But
need
then
to
you get
be.
someone in the field. Oh my God! Oh God! Falling over, and you're like, why do I have to go down to their level? Like this sucks already.
That's exactly
why.
right.
That's why I hate those things where you walk around like a zombie for 3 days, and then the thing's over. We go to the cemetery, and we have the ceremony where everyone puts a rose on the casket, and it's beautiful, and the sun is shining through the top of this area they give you, and it's a beautiful last moment, basically. And everyone takes their time putting the rose on the coffin, and you leave, and they go, "Now this concludes the ceremony," and that's your cue to go to a restaurant and get food with the family, right? And I'm like, I go to my brother like, screw that, man. Let's see what happens next, And everyone goes back to their cars, and we're lingering around, and we see in the back, out the back door of this place, like no joke, 4 or 5 Mexicans waiting with shovels. That's the reality.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
They can't wait to get the damn.
Picking up the roses and giving them to the girlfriends.
They're like, how much longer is this going to take? We want to, to them, they're waiting for lunch. And that's the reality. 4 guys on a pile of dirt with shovels, waiting to bury the damn thing.
They're just going to be sitting there talking and stuff.
Oh, yeah, they're just babbling and waiting like, oh, all right, well, the last person has hit the car. Let's throw the coffin in the ground.
That's amazing.
Here's one.
No, I think a lot of the people at funerals who make a big deal out of it are performing, too. I mean, a lot of people enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even my daughter said she didn't want to tell any of her classmates, but then she said, I'm going to tell Ava, for one of her best friends.
Right.
And when I picked her up from school, she was kind of excited, like I told Ava and I told Maya.
Yeah.
And she got to be a celebrity because her dog died.
Wow.
And I remember as a kid wishing that my parents would die so that the whole school would be really grieving for me and I would get paid attention to.
It was like a nightmare as a kid.
And get to hold a press conference that my parents died.
Yeah.
And cry in front of the class, and the cute girls would feel bad for me and shit.
Well, go, oh, Louie.
Let me suck your tiny penis, even though you never know what that is yet.
You're twisted, man. That death thing, when you're a kid, does anyone remember the day they realized they were going to die, how horrific of a feeling that was?
Yeah.
Because you went from, just enjoying, school and whatever, riding your bike, collecting baseball cards, whatever the fuck you're doing, to the day you realize you have that in your memory, one day this all ends? And
it doesn't go away till you die.
Yeah, pretty much. It
doesn't go away.
You learn how to deal with it a little better, I guess, as you get older, but that first time you learn that this will end is a horror. I learned when my parents were going out for the night. Somehow it came up with my older sister as they're leaving to go to a movie and dinner, and I'm now in the house without mommy to help me out here.
Wow.
Help me out here, mommy.
You know what? I found out that everybody dies, and I told this kid that was a year younger than me, Benji, across the street from me, this kid who I kind of hated.
Yeah.
And I told him, you're going to die someday. We all are. And he said, no. He started screaming, no. And I said, yes, you're going to die. Everybody does. And so his mother came over. He went home screaming, and she came over and said, what did you tell him? And he's with her. And I said, yeah, everybody dies. And she goes, that's not true.
Wow, she had to lie to
I
him.
said, what? And she says, it's not true. Not everybody dies. His mom. And I
Wow,
said,
what a lying bitch.
yeah, and I said, I was little. I was in first grade. So the way I argued, I said, well, what about all the presidents are dead, like Abraham Lincoln? And she said, well, he got hurt. Somebody hurt him. That's why he died.
Right.
And George Washington got sick, but some people never die.
That is that's quite a thing right there. So
I would have pulled that kid aside and go, and you won't go blind either. Don't worry,
Yeah.
he's lying.
yeah. Now, Louis, do you hate the ex?
Do I hate her?
Yeah.
No, I can't. She's my kid's mom. So,
Well, what kind of feelings do you have toward her, considering she sort of might have made the dog do this technically?
Oh, I feel bad for her that she thinks that she
Okay.
feels like she killed the dog. But of course, there's a tiny bit of me that thinks it's hilarious.
That she's got to deal with that
Yeah, that
when she
she's gotta
sleeps
deal
at
with
night.
that.
You sick bastard.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because when you still share having kids, and so there's a lot of a lot of great things in life that I can only share with her.
Right.
And she's my least favorite person on the earth.
Right.
So it's like if you and Hitler got a puppy together, and then he goes off and starts his Hitlery life, and you're like, and you're Jewish, and you're like, God, that guy's a fucking asshole, but only he knows how cool that was getting that puppy to pound that thing.
There you go.
But
we just lost a caller. It's something that I think Anthony brings up on the show. The roadside memorials.
Yeah, I hate those.
That's another-
You drive down the highway and there's a cross with a picture on it and flowers and notes and teddy bears laying next to a tree with like a 18-inch chunk of bark taken off of the thing.
Right.
And you just know someone's head went right through the windshield there.
Oh yeah, they don't even clean up the skid marks leading
No.
to the tree with
No.
the cross on it. They should put those things down flat.
Yeah.
it really is like when you see skid marks end in a memorial.
Yeah.
It's like the memorial is what happened when the car hit. It's weird. It's like, what if you hit one of those? What if you fucking hit one of those and died? One of those memorials.
That would prove
Car went off the road. No, if you make one of those, you're just a fucking asshole. That's such a embarrassing thing to do to the person who died, and it's tacky, and you didn't really love them. You're just showing off.
Well, people mourn in different ways, I guess. I don't really care. I just don't want to see it. So if you lay it down flat on the ground, the person knows it's there, and they can go visit it whenever they want.
I actually put a mannequin of the person.
Yeah.
And like I put like a plastic car bumper, like where it hit on their body, and I play music 24 hours a day. That's how I do it.
When somebody dies and people go and have a candlelight vigil, people who didn't know them.
That's so enraging.
Yeah.
I just want to punch them, and you see them crying. Like, you didn't know this person, and you're standing there with your fucking mittens holding a candle with paper on it.
Yeah, you do realize they might have been an awful person when they were living. Huh?
No, it's showboaty.
Yeah.
Showboating, exactly.
We got Louis on the line, and who's this?
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. You're on with Louis C.K., who's bringing the whole goddamn show down today.
Of course, Louis is the bomb. I friggin' love
A
Louis.
lot of people love Louis.
Excellent terminology for a white woman. Go ahead, miss.
The bomb.
I was just going to add to the whole roadside thing. We just had a girl killed here in Pennsylvania, and it's now getting to the point where they're so ghoulish that not only is there like a whole shroud of stuff, but there are people visiting the side of this highway.
Right.
Just on the side of the frickin' highway.
Well, that's because it's fresh dead.
Yeah, what was
Oh
she
my
hit by
God,
a saucer?
You wait a year or two, and the whole display will be very faded from the
Yep.
sun, and there'll be no visitors.
No one will visit anymore.
No one will give a hoot.
Yeah, because in the
That's
end,
exactly it. It starts to get all dingy and sooty.
100 years from now, no one's going to give a crap that you were ever here.
Oh.
That's why I gotta die in the apocalypse.
They asked me if I want. I think we're going to scatter the dog's ashes because if we get an urn, that urn's going to become this fucking clutter in my house with my
Right.
underwear on it.
Right,
It's just
sure.
going to be, I don't,
Well,
get on with life.
Aunt's ex-mother-in-law had the urn of her lovely Chester.
Chester. Lil Chester.
That just kind of was on display for everybody.
I wonder if she ever got buried with Chester's ashes.
I don't
I
know.
know she wanted to.
I don't know.
I know people have their dogs stuffed.
Yeah, freeze dried.
Yeah.
I got are you allowed on the air?
What?
I can sit there. You could just sit? My radio mentor's here, Brother Weeze, and he's not allowed to be heard on the radio for another, 6 months? But he was telling me what he wants done to his body. And you're dead serious? I know, just get over there. I don't want to blow up your spot, but I do want to tell everyone we're at, look, and all your he's here with corporate people. They don't want you blowing up your spot.
They're all doing the finger across the neck cut thing.
You can at least nod. You can at least nod, right? All right. Weeze.
Put lights on him like Captain Pike.
Weeze is dead serious. When he dies, and I hope it's a long time from now, he wants his skull to be given to his family so they could display it.
Your skull?
His skull. He's dead serious. He was telling me this in the diner, and I have a pretty open mind, and I like almost everything Weeze says, but I'm like, you're insane. That would creep everybody out.
Hell yeah.
What are they going to do with it?
What would they
look at it?
Just put it on the mantle.
Give him some paper. Can you write something down at least?
Yeah, they can't prove who wrote it.
Look at. All right.
It's not a bad idea.
All right, Susan. I was going to call you another.
Okay.
You can talk.
I can talk.
Do you know the story?
No.
I know. He's like.
Well, it's worth saying because this is insane. He's dead serious, by the way.
Investigating committee. They're hiding the microphone.
Yeah.
All right, Weeze is now going to write something down on the paper. This is bullshit, by the way, that this fucking company used to work for won't allow him even on satellite radio because it's heard still, in Rochester, where Weeze is from.
Yeah.
Louis, so as Weeze writes that down, what do you think of that?
That he wants to put it. I think it's an awesome idea. Just having your skull around. I mean, because that lasts for, generations.
Right.
People, and you can't. The thing is that it's a great prank on your family because no one can just chuck it in the garbage. You can't throw away like your grandfather's skull, and eventually it'll be people who don't even remember who he was and like, who is this guy? Who we have his head around?
So you're with this?
I would do that.
Really? Hey, Weeze, yes or no? Would you allow like your family members to boil the skin away at least?
Yeah.
All right.
How about putting a candle on it for Halloween?
He doesn't care.
Shattering teeth inside.
Shattering teeth.
It'd be great if you have it hollowed out and then they put like their forks and spoons in it. So they have to reach into it whenever they eat. They have to think of it.
Some nephew makes a bong out of it.
Yeah, Louis, before we let you go, I'm just trying to get some details on this Weeze skull thing he's writing because...
You could use it, have your family use it to have like scorpion bowls, those kind of tiki drinks,
I would hope you break it out during the Super Bowl or something and throw some chips in.
If it was a special day for your skull to be out.
All right, this is what Weeze just wrote. He wrote, "My daddy's ashes are on my mantle. The skull was yours?"
Saying it's your idea.
You could decorate it for occasions and holidays and dress it up and pray to it? What the hell, man?
What do you want, like your family to be Hamlet holding your skull, talking to you?
Pray to it.
Ah, poor Weeze. I knew him well.
He's a progressive thinker, but Weeze, that would creep everybody out.
Progressive thinker? No, that's megalomaniac. I would like everybody to worship my skull.
And I would like it to be backlit.
So, hey, did you guys hear about Ted Kennedy's surgery?
Yeah,
Yes.
we talked about it this morning. He was awake for the whole thing.
And how can you imagine if he's shaven head, brain exposed, and he has to and he's talking like an idiot because they touch his brain and they say dog and he goes. I mean, that must have been the funniest thing that's ever happened.
We were saying this morning they're touching parts of his brain and he's admitting to all sorts of stuff we don't even know about yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But can you imagine? We described it. Just imagine being awake as they make an incision around your hairline, pull back your scalp, then they put a 3-inch hole in, which is kind of like a beer cup. That size hole, and then they have to they use the scalpel to remove the skin, so now they can get to the brain, and you're awake the entire time.
Yeah, and then the thing is, the reason they do it is because they don't cut out the speech center.
Right.
They touch it and have you try to talk, and if you talk like a blithering idiot, then they don't have to cut.
Don't
that.
they know where that is? Isn't there a map?
No, well, they can't quite tell. It all looks kind of the samey.
Yeah,
but it's Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy, this weird character already. And imagine if you're like a nurse, you just can't stop laughing.
Right.
That he's, okay, that's speech center.
They should shave his ball bag just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Well, you're going for brain
surgery. We're going to shave your ball bag, though.
We got to shave the brain.
Why? Brain.
So, Louis, where's the dead dog now?
The dead dog is ashes. I put her in the oven and I held her down while they pulled the board away, and then they cooked her to 1,800 degrees.
I couldn't watch that.
Yeah,
no way.
She said the lady was so nice and respectful and saying like, "This is just she just gets cremated. It's just she turns into just dust and a few ashes." But then at the end she goes, "It's like it gets really hot. It's like a grease fire in there."
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, thanks a lot. You're melting my dog."
And did you really watch?
I didn't. Once the doors close, you don't see anything.
Sure.
You kind of have this feeling like you don't want her to be alone till the end. But at the same time, when you look at the body, it didn't look like her to me. It just looked like an amazing puppet from like a really good puppet from a George Lucas movie. So,
and the ashes, you're not bringing them home. You decided.
We're gonna spread them somewhere. I think for the kids.
Yeah, it's better.
Just have a ceremony for the kids where we put the ashes somewhere that she used to.
Ask the kids where they want to spread the ashes and write down their answers. That'll make for good radio. Chuck E. Cheese. Because they're limited in what they know.
They'll probably say the yard or something like that. They'll probably say, yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably say the yard.
Yeah.
Well, where she used to run around and stuff.
Yeah, because then she's kind of there anyway. You feel like it, right?
Yep.
All right, Louis. Very interesting. Thanks. You gave us a great 40 minutes here, man.
This is Louis C.K., and if you're interested in where I'm playing live, go to louisck.com. If you're not interested in where I'm playing live, just shit in a hat and put it on.
Opie and Anthony.